the controversial HBO show, starring, of course, The Weeknd and Lily Rose Depp, debuted.
I didn't even know that this came out until today.
Yeah,
I was not aware that this premiered today or yesterday. So what I'm getting from the responses of the show is like it's what we would expect of what the show kind of promoted itself to be. And it's funny because like there was all this controversy going on around it and people were like, well, the show's not even out yet, including myself. I was like, well, I guess we won't know until it shows. But when it dropped at Cannes, people did have an opportunity to actually watch it. And their responses were like, it's not good. So it came out yesterday. It got pretty good viewership. I think people were just like interested to see like, okay, what is the show that everyone's been talking about? Like, what is it actually going to be like? It seems like the problem really is that like Sam or the writers of the show, the developers of the show, really weren't interested in actually making a show about a pop star who gets in over her head with a sleazy guy because she wants to be famous. It seems more like we just wanted to, depict our fantasies through Lily Rose Depp's character and then have the weekend there for like vibes. Like that's kind of what the show seemed like initially. And it seems like that's very much confirmed. That is what the show is. Like it's not anything other than just these men looking at Lily Rose Depp with her tits out and it's just like cinema. I wasn't expecting this to be anything other than that, but now that people have watched it and have reviewed it and are saying yes, that is what the show is, and like all the problems that we thought were going to happen from what the information we got from the Rolling Stone article and all that, like that's in here. I'm interested to see like what this is going to do, like if people continue to watch it, if viewership is going to go up. I don't know, because it just seemed like it kind of arrived and everyone was just like, oh, okay.
yeah. Now, like, Euphoria has evolved more into a bit of style over substance. It wasn't really that way before in the beginning. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we've had, of course, talk about Maddie's evolution of a character. You have, Zendaya's character, her dealing with drug issues. We've had every other smaller character like have their own stories of how they evolve the person, which like you want to see them evolve and grow. And then now it's kind of been a bit more stylistic in a way, but the substance is still there. It's the substance is still fighting a good battle with the style. Whereas this, I feel like, was more substance, more style first than substance. So I want to see if it does course correct to kind of give a bit more of an even balance in the way that Euphoria kind of has. Even though there's still some too much style in Euphoria, I do believe it's not done to the level that currently is in that's currently reported in this project. Earlier in the box office stuff about Little Mermaid currently sitting at 2. There's a big dialogue globally on having black people portray these kind of roles. So it's currently only made about 3.6 million in the first 10 days of China. That's the worst showing ever among Disney's live action adaptations. And in South Korea, since June 4th, it's only made $4.4 million. Disney says it knew they would face challenges internationally, but they're kind of surprised over the backlash and its impact. And I'm going to read out this paragraph. This paragraph is from a Chinese newspaper called the Golden Times. Controversy surrounding Disney's forced inclusion of minorities in classist films is not about racism, but it's lazy and irresponsible storytelling strategy. Many Chinese netizens that like Snow White, the image of the mermaid princess in Han Christian Andersen's fairy tale, has long been rooted in their hearts, and it takes a leap of imagination to accept the new cast. But just because you're so beholden to this image of a fictional person that you refuse to see it any other way, it's kind of really closed-minded.
I just feel like that speaks to a bigger issue. The fact that Disney put out a statement thing that they were surprised is like so like, oh, we couldn't believe it. Like, who could have thought racism? It's like, what are y'all talking about? Like, like, did you? were you watching when she was announced as Ariel? Like that whole backlash just over her casting, and you're gonna sit here and be like, "We were surprised." No, you weren't. I think that those markets are so important. Obviously, people care a lot about them, especially when you're making such a big budget movie like this. But then it also just speaks to whatever social issues are going on in their countries where they can't go see The Little Mermaid because The Little Mermaid is black now.
Racial issues as far as black characters being released in Disney projects have been a long issue for the last like 15 years ish. So, and Disney wants that international box office money because if you don't market to China, you're not gonna get the money in returns we've seen with all these other Avengers movies, where a large portion also of their box office was just domestic, but it was also international. And you kind of in Hollywood's on this kick now of we want the Asian market. So, did you like that clip? Well, you can listen to the entire podcast because the 16mm Film Crew podcast is available on all major podcast platforms.